We are restocking our pantry with what we have at home. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Tamara. Today I'm going to be restocking my pantry with some dry mixes, and we're going to be doing some canning. We're going to be using everything that we have at home. We're going to save us some money and not have to worry about buying it at the store, but it's also going to be a little bit cheaper. When you keep basic ingredients on hand, you can easily throw together those things and provide different meals, food, snacks, and stuff for your family. I love taking the time looking through, doing inventory, and seeing what I can still make at home based off what I keep in stock. I always keep dried beans, which is a really cheap option to keep on hand. It's a lot cheaper buying a bag of dried beans versus a can of already, prepared beans. And so that's one of my favorite things is I keep those on hand so I can, can them myself and make them a lot cheaper. One pound bag of beans, is so much cheaper. I can get about 5 jars of black beans or whatever beans from that 1 pound. I can normally get about 5 jars from that, and so that comes out to be about 30 cents a jar. I don't include the jars, the lids, and rings. So I'm talking about just the food. So that is so much cheaper than buying black beans already ready to go, because they're about 78 cents at the store. So just the beans alone definitely will save you some money. And then always keep rice on hand. And so today we are going to take regular cooked rice and we're going to turn it into minute rice. Super excited to try that. We're also going to make some dry mixes to keep in our pantry. But let's get started, and I hope you enjoy. I'm going to go ahead and get started on the minute rice. So I'm going to go ahead and cook up some regular white rice according to package directions, whatever ratio you prefer or however you prefer to cook it. I just went easy and did it on the stovetop, but I'm just going to cook it normal, and then we will just pop it in the dehydrator and dehydrate it. And this is going to make our own minute rice. I have always bought minute rice in bulk from Sam's Club because it's definitely a favorite, quick and easy. You can add different flavorings and have, a quick and easy side dish. And this is also something really good to have, in case of emergencies, having that quick minute rice on hand. So I definitely wanted to try to make my own now that I have my own dehydrator. So I was super excited about this. I haven't tried reconstituting it yet. Cooking it. I will definitely do that soon, but I was excited to try. Since this was my first time trying it, I did only do 2 cups just because, I didn't want to waste a bunch. But I put this in the dehydrator. It cooked on 31 degrees, I believe, for about 10 hours. And then I just tried to get it as even as I could on my trays, popped them in my dehydrator, and it turned out perfect. Right after that 10 hours, they were totally dry, and it really did look just like minute rice. It was just kind of clumped up, and so I did have to just kind of break it up. But here's what it looks like. It was super cool once it was done, and like I said, I'm excited to try it out and see if we really like it, and I'm sure y'all will see that in the future. Once I got them added into the jars, I just put the lid on them, gave them a good shake, and that helped break up those bigger clumps. And then I'm just going to leave these on the counter and let them condition for the next week. I'm just going to turn them every single day and make sure there's no moisture in there or anything before I either vacuum seal or put them up, for storage. I had 1 jar of black beans left on my shelf, so I definitely needed to get some more put up. I love canning beans. They're so easy, I feel like, and you can have them ready to go on your shelf. That's one of the things that people talk about, is like when time comes to it, we could live off rice and beans and rice. But in hindsight, rice does take a little bit of time to cook, which is why I like to keep minute rice. And then dry beans are really good to have on hand, but they take a while to cook as well. So if you're in an emergency situation where, you need to eat quickly, having these beans on hand, really do help in that time of need. And you can easily, throw them into different dishes and kind of bulk up, and have some extra protein. So beans are definitely a good one to keep on your shelf. And, I always keep dried beans. I have them down, in my emergency prep, so it's something that I can easily just pull out. And, when I start getting low on my shelves, I can easily just can up some and have them ready to go. I used my last jar of pizza sauce the other night for our homemade pizzas, so it was time to get some more pizza sauce. I love using the Mrs. Wag's pizza sauce. It is literally our favorite. It's so good. And I can't wait till the summer when I have some fresh tomatoes and I can make a bunch with my fresh tomatoes. But it's one of the reasons why I keep certain things on hand, like these cans of tomatoes, is because I, can use those cans of tomatoes and still make the pizza sauce right now since it's not tomato season. So that's one of the important things about, keeping certain pantry ingredients on hand, like the basics, is that you can turn those basic ingredients into something else and you can provide for your family. Like a lot of people might not think to keep, canned tomatoes on hand to turn them into different things. And it's funny because Winston the other day, he was like, why are you wanting to start a garden, Mom, and plant, things that we don't eat? Because if you're new here, we're not fans of like fresh, like raw veggies, and we don't just like cut up a tomato and eat a tomato. That's just not, we're just not big fans of that. But I explained to him that, like I'm going to be planting, tomatoes to make tomato juice, tomato sauce, diced tomatoes to make pizza sauce, like, ketchup, like, you keep those things on hand in your pantry, or, you grow those things in your garden to turn them into different things to provide for your family in those different ways. So I always try to keep big cans of tomatoes on hand, and so that way I can pair it with that Mrs. Wag's pizza sauce, because y'all, that stuff is so good. It's kind of been hard to find in like a regular store. I've been finding mine at my Amish, my local Amish bakery, but I will forever, like, that pizza sauce is so easy because you just throw those cans in of tomatoes, and then, you throw that packet in, you add a little sugar, and that is it. Can it up and you are done. And it is the best pizza sauce, hands down. As y'all know, I am still going strong at 100% seal rate with 4 jars. I do have an affiliate link through them, and I will make sure to have it linked in the description box for you guys so y'all can save some money. We're all about saving money, providing for our families, and putting up food, and I love 4 jars. They're coming out with actual jars soon, and I cannot wait for them to have jars because I'm so excited. I absolutely love their lids. Here are the black beans all done, so I'll just let them sit undisturbed on the counter for 24 hours, and then I'll take the rings off and give them a good wash and label and get those put on my shelf. It is time to restock my onion soup mix. As you can see, I was getting low, so I went ahead and pulled everything out. I always keep all of the spices and everything to be able to make, my own mixes, which, like I love keeping those convenient mixes on hand, even like taco seasoning and stuff like that. I definitely keep those on hand in stock, but I always keep everything in my spice cabinet where if I run out of that, I can make my own homemade. But this onion soup mix has hands down been my favorite. I absolutely love it. Now the recipe that I'm using, I will have linked down below. I chose to do one that doesn't have any beef flavoring in it, but most of them do. So if you want one with the beef flavoring, just look it up online and you can find a different recipe. But I chose to do one without. That way I can use it for, even chicken or just kind of change it up, and then if I want it with beef, I can always add in the beef powder as I'm making the recipe. Once I get everything added in, I put the lid on it, shake it up, and then I put a label on it, and I just get it put in my spice cabinet. Now, when I first started making this, I was actually vacuum sealing it just to help the freshness, but honestly, I noticed I was going through it way too fast for it to even worry about potentially going bad. So this time, I just put a lid and a ring on it and put it right in my cabinet, because I swear I use that stuff at least a couple times a week. It is so good. Now we're going to make some more brownie mixes to have in the pantry as well. I love this brownie recipe, and being able to, make 3 to 4 of them at a time, the dry mixes, and having them in my pantry, it literally is a game changer, because it's just like having a box brownie mix already in your pantry. And all you gotta do is add, the wet ingredients, and you get it baked, and it is so, so good. I have made this before. If you want to see this recipe baked, I will have it linked down below. But I'm just adding all the dry ingredients in this bowl. I give them a mix, and then I just put one recipe per jar, and I do vacuum seal these and get them put on my shelf. Now, when I vacuum seal, I don't add a ring. If it is vacuum sealed, you should be able to pick it up, by the lid, just like you would, if you've processed a jar in a canner. I do the same thing with my dry goods as I do my, processed canned goods, because if the lid comes off, I want to know about it. Especially, because you're helping food stay fresh, even if it's dry goods. So like, even if I'm storing the dry goods on my shelf, I still only use the lid. I don't put a ring on it, because I want to know if it comes undone. Just like the cereal that is over here on my, shelf. If a lid comes off, I want, I'm going to be able to check it and see it, that it's come off, so I know if that food is good or not, or if it can go stale. So even if I'm vacuum sealing in jars, I don't store it in my pantry with a ring. If it has a ring on it, then it's not vacuum sealed. If it is vacuum sealed, it does not have a ring. It's only the lid. I'm adding a cupcake liner to these because they are pretty full, and this is going to help with food particles and dust not getting into your vacuum sealer. I don't do this if they're like halfway full, because you have a lot of room, but if they are super full and 3/4 full or all the way full, I definitely add a cupcake liner. Clean the jar really good around. I just do a dry towel, and then I get them vacuum sealed and ready for the shelf. Absolutely love this handheld vacuum sealer. It is super convenient to pull out this versus like my big vacuum sealer. And I do have this linked in my Amazon storefront. Anything that y'all seen in today's video, like I've got the labels, I have the vacuum sealer. I will try to add the Mrs. Wag's products, my canner, all of that stuff is linked to my Amazon storefront, so y'all can check out any of that stuff there. The first time I shared that vacuum sealer, I sold like 30 of them. That thing went nuts. Y'all absolutely love that thing, and I honestly love it too. I restocked my pantry today with what was in my pantry. Is that not amazing? When you keep a well-stocked pantry with basic ingredients, it can definitely help you save you some money. I didn't have to go to the store and buy the minute rice. I didn't have to go buy the cans of already cooked beans. I didn't have to go spend the money on pizza sauce. I had everything here on hand and was able to restock my pantry with what was in my house already. I transformed it and turned it into something new to provide and feed my family. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.